3/5 of senators duly chosen and sworn have not voted in the affirmative. The motion is not agreed to.
I'm just really saddened by the fact that our Republican colleagues have not voted for a bill that passed so overwhelmingly in the House, put together by a conservative Republican chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, and that would do so much to help housing, help kids and families, and help businesses.
And so, at least right now, at least in the Senate, the child tax credit is dead. It was killed by Republicans who apparently believe that it was good politics less than 3 months out from the election to tell tens of millions of American families, screw you and your kids, you're not getting any help. That's what they chose to do. Okay, well, we're gonna break down what actually happened. Bear in mind what was lost. The expansion would have been in effect for 3 years, would have cost roughly $33 billion, according to the CBO. And the CBPP said that it would have lifted as many as 400,000 children above the poverty line just in its first year, as well as making an additional 3 million children less poor as their incomes rise closer to the poverty level. In addition to that direct assistance to millions, it would have bolstered certain business tax credits, which we'll return to when we talk about why some progressive Democrats opposed the bill. Different reasons than the Republicans, including deductions for research and development, interest expenses, and investments in equipment. So as Chuck Schumer alluded to in that video, this already passed earlier this year, very easily, bipartisan fashion in the House. And so you might wonder, well, if it was good enough for the Republicans of the House, why are they killing it in the Senate? Well, some Republican senators are not hiding at all what their motivations are. Republican Senator Chuck Grassley told a reporter earlier in the year that passing the bill could make President Biden, quote, look good, which could help his re-election campaign and jeopardize the 2017 Trump tax legislation that Republicans want to renew. So there's two potential motivations there. And if you're a family that desperately needs help, you tell me if either of these make you feel better about them denying you that help. That they don't want it to pass because it'll make it harder for Trump to win a re-election, and they don't want it to pass because they'd rather wait until next year to hand trillions of dollars to the richest corporations in the world. I don't think that's gonna placate a lot of Americans, but that's what they're running on.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just wanna urge you to lend your support to TYT. You power our honest reporting. You do it at tyt.com/team, and we love you for it.
And I will say, because I alluded to this, the Republicans have given their reasons. Senator Bernie Sanders also voted against this, doesn't support it. And back when it passed in the House, some progressive Democrats opposed it there for different reasons. He said, incredibly, this legislation would hand out a $2 billion retroactive tax break each to Lockheed Martin and Raytheon, some of the most profitable defense contractors in the world. Further, at a time when artificial intelligence and automation threatens to displace millions of American workers, this legislation could provide billions of dollars in tax breaks to companies like Amazon, Google, Verizon, and Facebook to replace workers with machines or robots. The tax bill on the floor today is only 1/10 the size of the child tax credit in the American Rescue Plan and would only last for 3 years. When all is said and done, this bill would provide at least $3 in corporate tax breaks for every $1 in tax cuts for working families with children. That is not a good deal, which I think is a good point. And these are things that people have to weigh in deciding whether it was good enough for it to pass. I mean, I would say that sort of the fact that it's doing things for working families and doing things for corporations is probably why it had Republican support in the House in the first place. But again, as we get closer to the election, suddenly they don't want to deliver a win. This really just reminds me of the killing of the border bill, but what do you think?
Yeah, I love this bill for so many different reasons. So number one, because it shows you what American politics is all about. And number two, because within this is buried an amazing strategy for this campaign if the Kamala Harris team has enough courage to do it, okay? So first, let me start with American politics and how disgusting it is. So in order to help children, you first have to give 3 times as much to corporations. That's how any bill passes. So why did it pass in the House, even though the Republicans control the House? Because corporate Republicans and corporate Democrats are like, oh, we're using children as human shields to give 3 times as much money to defense contractors. Well, I love it, okay? Perfect little marketing trick, and don't worry about it. Mainstream media is in our back pocket, not just for Democrats, but also for corporate Republicans, and definitely for the donors who are the same advertisers that advertise on mainstream media. So they're never gonna tell you that this bill is actually to help all of their donors. The only reason they didn't pass, they would normally pass this, because this is exactly what they do. Whenever they pass anything halfway decent, right underneath the tip of the iceberg is the iceberg itself, which is giant corporate giveaways, okay? And it happens in both administrations and the mainstream media. It just never figures it out. They're like, oh, I don't know what was in the bill. Oh, did I have to read it? Okay, so and then instead what'll happen is, and especially if it's an establishment Democrat in charge, like marketing on behalf of that person forever and ever. Like, oh my God, he got the child tax credit passed. He's the greatest progressive the world has ever seen. This is a great perfect example. Joe Biden gets us to negotiate drug prices on one drug, leaves tens of thousands of other drugs alone with giant monopoly power, and everybody has to kiss his ass that he got one drug price reduced. No, that was a cover for not reducing all of the other ones, okay? So anyway, so that tells you American politics. In a nutshell, Bernie Sanders is in a sense, and hence Bernie Sanders is right to vote against it. But if you did this right, you stripped it down, and my idea isn't child tax credit, although that's a beautiful one, and you could use that one as well. And I'll tell you why in a second. My idea is to do this on paid family leave. But first, on the child tax credit, if you took away the Raytheon stuff and the corporate stuff, you know what it polls at? It polls at 75%. Yeah. What else do you want? It's 75 to 19. Only a bunch of JD Vances are sitting on their couch and to go and God knows what, and say, oh no, we don't want children to not be hungry. Make them hungry, right? So Americans don't agree because they were, generally speaking, decent people. 77% of independents want it. 64% of Republican voters want it. It's intensely popular. So whether it's child tax credit or paid family leave, that's at 84%. It's about children and moms and families. Put them to a decision. Make the Republicans vote no. Okay, here's my revolutionary idea. Try to get it passed right now. These are show votes, right? They're barely trying to get them passed. Actually make an effort. So how would you make an effort? Kamala Harris, this would take enormous courage, but is actually a layup politically. Kamala Harris comes and goes, I'm gonna get paid family leave passed, and I'm gonna get it either passed right now in the middle of the campaign, or I'm gonna get it passed as soon as I become president. Republicans, it's your choice. Which one would you like? It says sitting at 84%, 74% of Republicans want it. It's about giving moms a break after they deliver their kids. Go ahead, I dare you. Be against America's moms. Be against America's children. I dare you, be against 84% of Americans. I'm going to get this passed either now or after the election, after I maul you and I wipe you off of the Senate and the House so that I can get it passed. So your choice. I guarantee you it would work.
I like that, actually. You know why I like that, Cenk? Because I don't like the bipartisan border bill. And I don't like this now handout to corporations with a little bit for children on the side. Remember, it was Joe Manchin and Republicans who effectively discontinued the child tax credit coming out of the pandemic that lifted 46% of children out of poverty. And when it expired, immediately plunged 3.7 million children back into poverty, right? So it was wildly successful, and of course, popular because of it. But I'm like, Chuck Grassley, the Vecna of the Senate, who's like, it will only look good for Biden. Like, he's so creepy. But I'm actually glad it didn't pass, just like I'm glad the bipartisan border bill didn't pass, because they were crap bills, honestly, and they go backwards, not forwards. But something like paid family leave with a clean bill is good. It's positive. It moves us forward. And I totally agree with you. It would be an amazing strategy. And I just also want us to learn the lesson. They're bad faith about everything. So getting a bipartisan bill means absolutely squat in today's Congress. We gotta win the seats. We gotta keep the Senate / win the Senate for real this time, and expand from there and do things that are popular with the people. Screw Republicans.
Yeah, look, I think combine both your ideas. Have a clean paid family leave bill that also includes a clean child tax credit, and just try to pass that. for people who already have kids, for people who are about to have kids, you get young people, you get older people. I think that would be incredibly appealing. And I also would say that the Republicans have really teed it up culturally that they're now saying you shouldn't have any of this help. Kids are super expensive. All three of us can attest to that. It doesn't matter. Just deal with it. You don't get any help. Oh, and by the way, how dare you not have kids? If you don't have kids, you shouldn't even get a vote, you maggot, you peasant. You don't have skin in the game. You're not a real American. That's what they're going around saying. And meanwhile, they're making sure that you are 100% on your own, both in terms of paying for it and also hoping to maintain a job when you have to go immediately back when it comes to that. So I think they should do all of that. And I would love to see Harris make that a centerpiece of the campaign.
That would require courage. Let's see if she's got it. And maybe she does.
Let's see.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us. Become a young Turk.